Alright, welcome back to another exciting ProPresenter 7 tutorial. Today we're going to look at building a service and then I'm not going to run through it, but we'll at least look at how to get it started. So, first step, as always, the wonderful AnyDesk program. Hopefully it doesn't defy me like it did in the announcements video. Thank you. CCVB, connect, and we're looking at the Sanctuary computer. Um, Again, it's a ProPresenter tutorial, so let's open up ProPresenter. We've learned in our previous videos how to create a song presentation, how to create a sermon presentation, and how to create the announcements presentation as well. And that's the main aspects of a service. And today I want to show you how to put all that together. Um, Again, this is kind of ProPresenter is going to open up to whatever you had it open to when you last closed it. So you could come into this and who knows what you're going to see. But for right, but for right now, we're going to pretend that we're coming in here. Let's see, today's Monday, so we're going to create a Wednesday service. Um, no, let's do a Sunday. We'll do a Sunday. Um, and since a Sunday service would be after a Wednesday service, we'll have Wednesday up here. Um, let's start from scratch. I'm gonna just close your eyes for right now. Just pretend that I'm not doing this. I'm gonna come empty this right quick, just so we can start from scratch. Um, okay, so here we are. We've got up here in the upper left, you see the playlists, and playlists are kind of holding containers for the different elements, the different presentations that you want to use during this service. We've created a Sunday one, the Sunday and Wednesday services, and then this one is in here just from the Glammys special show that we did a few weeks back. If you want to check it out on Netflix and Hulu. Um, Bestseller, chart topper. Um, but for right now, we're going to create a Wednesday service, and you look. These are the different um, sections, if you will, of our service. We have a pre-service. Um, you know that we start the service with an intro video, then we go into worship, and then we have the message. So those are, like I said, these have been created a little beyond the scope for this. If you wanted to create another header, you could come here and go new header. So that would be it. And but yeah, this is what we have right here. So let's build our service. Um, just going right from the start, pre-service. What do we do during pre-service? We have announcements. So if you remember from our announcement slides live up here in the pre-service library. So I'm going to click that, and that shows me everything that's in that library. It is the month of August. So here's our announcements, August 2021. I'm going to right click on that, add it to Wednesday. Now if I go back to Wednesday, and I've mentioned this in the earlier videos, but I want you to see it now. Whenever you add something to a playlist, it goes to the bottom. So obviously we don't want our announcements down here under the sermon header. So I'm going to select that and drag it up into the pre-service, under the pre-service header. And there it is. Right. So there you have that. Intro video. We Intro video to me is always an adventure. Just trying to find one. It takes a little bit of time, so give yourself time before the service. Don't just pick something because you'll end up with something crazy. Let's see. Let's just look in here. I'm not really old service starters. Let's just pretend that we've screened resurrection here, and that's going to be our opening video. And so I can just highlight that, drag it right over here, to intro video, and there it is, right? And when you bring a video in, there's a couple things you need to do. Um, Obviously, it's in here. You need to assign the transition just like we did with the songs, sermons, and announcements. Put the dissolve on it. But you need to go into inspector because what I want you to see, and this one might not be an issue. I'm going to hit play right here. Not sure what the sound is going to do, so let's see. Um, okay, this one is already full screen, right? And that's a good thing. But when you preview it like I'm doing right now, and make sure if it's not, say it's got the black bars on either side, you can go to inspector right here, and under properties, if it's not already full screen like it is now, you can drop this down and you're going to choose scale to fill, and that will change the scale of the video. I'll go ahead and do that, and that will enlarge it or shrink it, however, whatever the case may be, to fill this window. Otherwise, it looks really silly with the video playing like in this area, and then you can see the camera feed on the edges here. It's it just looks weird. If you forget to do it though, and normally if our when our camera's on and we have it fired, this layer right here will be active. I can't even fire it right now because the camera's not on. But if you get into the situation where you didn't preview the video, you got in a hurry, or whatever happened, and you're playing it, and you got the bar, you see the camera on either side, you can just come here and select the camera. I know I got a black mouse cursor in the OBS recording here, but it's this one right here, the last in this line of layers. It's that last one. That's a little, it looks like a little camera. You can click that and it'll clear the video, and this will just go to black. But ideally, go to the inspector, properties, and scale to fill, and you should be good to go. You'll want to preview the video, let it play through. I'm not going to do it now, but listen for the loudest part of the video. We want to wake people up, or not wake them up, but get their attention. Hey, service is about to start, but we don't necessarily want to kill anybody. So watch the volume, keep it reasonable, and you'll be good to go. The controls for the video are right here. We're in. You can see this. It's the same. It's the presentation icon for some reason. The same one you see up here. But that's where your video controls are. You can see play and pause. If you want to go back 15 seconds, forward 15 seconds, or this one will take you 10 seconds from the end. If you want to simulate having played the video, if you're going through like a little walkthrough or whatever. So there's your controls for that. And that's how you put in the video. Moving on. Next header you can see is worship. And if you remember, we did the song "Tremble" as our tutorial. So we definitely want to use that for our first created service. So, and also if you remember, there's a couple different ways that we can add songs here. I'll show you the tedious way, and I'll show you the little bit easier way. We can come up here to our lyrics library, and we can scroll down. They're alphabetical, and we can scroll and find "Tremble." Right? And same with, as we've been seeing, I can right click, add to Sunday. Right? And then I go back to Sunday. It's at the bottom. And we're doing Wednesday, aren't we? Yep. Oops. Anyway, add to Wednesday then, and you go away. So here it is, Wednesday. It's at the bottom. Just going to drag it up into worship, and now it's where it belongs. That can, all that jumping back and forth can get confusing. I mean, you might even do something silly like forget what day you're creating. And so the easier way is just to come out here, and I'm going on my keyboard with my favorite thing, keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to hit Control F. F is in Frank, or F is in Find, and that's going to bring up my little search window here. So we already added Trimble. Let's let's be a brown noser, and we're gonna do Taste and See. Just gonna drag these over here. Um, let's do Bread of Life, because these are all the best songs in the world we know. Just gonna drag these over here. These are good songs. I'm just poking fun. Um, what else? What else? What else? Um, Your Name Yahweh. I like that one. There it is. And we need one more. That one is. Yeah, My God is Faithful. All right, there we go. So we have 5 songs now that we can do. Remember, to make this window go away, just hit Escape. So here's our songs. And if you notice, as I'm clicking through these, they have different backgrounds, right? Trimble. We just created this one, so it's got the current August background on it. But if I scroll down to, well, Taste and See has it also. Um, Bread of Life, though, has, man, we haven't done this song in a minute. This has like I think this was back in the spring background that we used. So obviously we don't want the cherry blossoms on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click. I'm going to come down here to remove actions, and I'm going to take that cherry blossoms out of there. So bye bye. And now we have no background. So I can come down here to the bottom, grab our current beachy background, just drag it up there, and we're good. And just to prove it, we can hit that, and works just like we thought it would. Continuing down, okay, wrong background again, same deal. Right click, remove action, take that summer background out, and we want our beachy background. Drag that in, done. My God is Faithful, right click, remove action, take that background out, drag in our current one, and now we're good to go. See that? Easy as that. Now we have all our worship songs in. Um, and now we need the sermon. So, same deal. We made the sermon. If you remember, it was Philippians 3:1 with the August 9th date on it in our sermon notes. So I'm just going to scroll down. These are also in alphabetical order. And here is the one that we created in our tutorial video. So I'm going to select that. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to add it to Wednesday, because I think that's the day we're doing. Okay, good. And that's that. The sermon one is convenient because it puts it at the bottom where it needs to be anyway. So there we have it. And if you want, it's never a bad idea to just scroll through, make sure everything looks like you thought it was going to look. So you can do that, and you can see now we have our whole service built. It's all there. All the elements are in, right from the start, the pre-service, all the way through to the sermon. Um, I thought about putting a post-service down here, but all we do is replay the slides, the announcement slides again. So it's a little redundant. So there isn't a post-service section. I don't think we need one unless there's going to be something out of the ordinary that we do. Then we can create it. But for right now, just know when you're done with the sermon, just fire the slides again. So yeah, there's your service all ready to go. It's laid out. Another great thing about ProPresenter, it's laid out in a linear fashion. We start the service here, and we just go straight down, section to section. Worship, sermon, and then we're done. If you don't want to scroll up over here, which I mean is a little tedious, you can click on the header or the name of the presentation over here, and it'll take you right there to whatever you click on, and then you just have to fire it, and there you have it. Let me touch on the sermon right quick. While most of these, you're just firing the first slide and you're moving on in sequence. Sermons are a little bit different because when we fire on the sermon, we have our title screen, our series title, then we have the message title. But watch what happens if I go from this slide to a verse slide. Remember, this is an image, okay? So it's going to lay that text right on top of there. And obviously we don't want that. That looks very, very much bad. So if we're on these screens, before you fire a verse slide, you have to hit the background. You have to fire the light background and then the verse. And you can see that looks a whole lot better, and you can actually read it. And then if you go back, just remember, because there'll be times it's preferable, like when the pastor mentions a verse, he starts talking on Psalm 50. See, I just did it. Psalm 51:12, for example. It's preferable to leave that verse up there until he calls out another verse. We'll say something like, back in Philippians 3:1, and then you can change. But if he stays, just for instance, on 51:12, and he starts talking about other stuff, and you can go back to one of the title slides. That's fine. Just remember, when it comes time for the next verse, it's a background then verse click. Don't just go right to it like I did a minute ago. Um, so just wanted to point that out. Good thing to remember. It'll prevent some funny looks and just hate and discontent. So yeah, but that's it. That's the service structure. That's the service laid out. That's how you bring the elements in from a blank template. Two other things I want to touch on. The first one is over here. These are, you have what is that? 6 different areas over here. And if you hover over it, it gives you a little hint about what it is. Very descriptive, very clever. Um, Audio bin. We have here, I just, from time to time, we'll change these out. Um, these are the songs that we play, the music that we play before service and after service. These are the ones that get us muted on Facebook. Um, but anyway, so they're here. If you want to start the music, all you have to do is select your little audio file here, or your audio icon, and then just choose a song, and it starts playing. All right. To control the music, you come up here. Remember, on the video we were on this one here. But here there's a little music icon, and now you have music controls. So I can pause that before I get in trouble with YouTube. So that's how you control the music. Down here in the bottom, right next to the filter bar, you see this little entwined arrows. With it, when it's highlighted, these will shuffle. That way you're not going. There's nothing wrong with going one after the other, but sometimes it's good just to shuffle them for some variety. That's blue, so it's highlighted, so it's going to be shuffling. If it's not highlighted, it's just going to go one after the other. And like I said, that's fine, but I just leave it on shuffle and let it do what it's going to do. So that's the music. Again, here's your control. You have to click this icon in order to be able to control it. As far as start, stop, back 15 seconds, forward 15, 10 seconds from the end. The volume is out. Hopefully, obviously, going to be the slider on the mixer. So that's the music. We have props that we use. In the sanctuary, they're not going to see the props because they're already there, right? So we don't need to tell them that we're going live in 3 minutes, um, whatever. But for the live stream, we'll pop up a countdown, or we'll give them the sermon title. Remember, in the sanctuary, we have these, so you don't see that. I just fired the well. Let's do the sermon title. Live stream doesn't see that, but in the sanctuary they do. So in order to help out the live stream people, we have these sermon titles. Um, Typically during the sermon, we're going to use the top one, and if you can see this little hint right here, you just click on it anywhere in this bar, click on it, and it's going to pop out, and it's going to give you I've been doing it just the sermon title and then the scripture reference. This is the one from yesterday's service, Sunday sermon title, and that just gives the live stream people just a reminder. Hey, this is the name of the sermon, and here's our main scripture reference. The reason we use the top one is because if you remember, on the live stream, our verses are across the bottom. And if I come down here and I hit sermon title bottom, it looks a little funky. So, and you can see these are highlighted, letting you know they're active. I can click it again to make it go away. Right, same deal here. Or I can come up here. See this? This is the same icon that's down here. That's our props icon. I can click that and it clears all props. So if for some stupid reason I have both of these up and I'm freaking out and I can't think to click these two, I can just go bang and they're both gone. So that's slides and how to operate them. All right, obviously for this service, that is not the sermon title. So I'll show you how to edit this real quick. And it's really simple. I'm going to right click right here and I'm going to go to edit. And this screen should look familiar, right? And here we go right here. I'm just going to double click this text. All right. And in quotes, I'm going to put the sermon title. I'm going to hit enter to start the next line, just like any text editor. And oh yeah, Philippians 3:1, I do believe. Right. And before I get out of this, I'm going to copy this. All right, just going to highlight it, Control C, and then over here on the left, you see all the rest of the props, right? So I'm going to go to sermon title top. I'm going to double click right here. I'm just going to Alt V, and now I don't have to type it again. So now that those are done, I can come back here to show, and notice it's now the proper sermon title and scripture reference. So that's props to use during the service. Use them at your discretion. Typically, I do it about every 10 minutes for about 20 seconds or so. Do what you want. It's just do what you want. Now the countdowns. We use countdowns to let, again, the live stream folks know, hey, we're getting ready to go live. And that's on Facebook Live, that is. But the timers, if I look at it right now, if I clicked Wednesday countdown, it's going to look crazy because obviously we're nowhere near, well, we're kind of near Wednesday, but nobody wants to watch that countdown for 127 hours. All right. If you do, see me Wednesday at service, so we'll have a talk. But anyway, so to reset that counter, we have this icon right here, timers, and we have one right here called Wednesday Countdown, which, believe it or not, deals with the countdown for Wednesday. And to start that timer, I'm just going to hit right here where it says Start Timer, and we can see that. Obviously, again, one day, that's a long time from now. Okay. Actually, what this is doing is just counting us down to, how can I reset that? Reset timer. Okay. You can see it counts down to 7. It really doesn't care what time it is, what day it is. This is just the one we use for Wednesday because it's it's set to count down to 7 o'clock. And you can see our Sunday countdown is set to count to 9 a.m. and our Sunday countdown 2 for the second service is to 11. So countdown to Wednesday, you can see down here it's 5:16. So if I start this, we're 1 hour and 43 minutes away from 7 o'clock. So we got our timer going. We'll come back over here to props, and I'm going to choose Wednesday countdown. And on the live stream, it's going to do something weird. I think it's doing that because the size of the numbers is bigger than the container that I built up here. Um, Typically, we don't start this until we're within 5 minutes of starting the service. So let me just come over here, just real quick, and let's see, it's 5. Let's do let's just reset this for the moment. This is a little bonus here, I guess. You get to see how you set this thing, and we'll do 5. Let's do just 5:25. What? Okay, fine. 5:25:00. Does that work? Okay. Right. So now our timer has been set to 5:25. Now if I start it, you can see our timer is 7. Back over here to props. Now when I fire it, now it looks like it makes some sense. Okay. So, and like I said, typically within 5 minutes, there's no that's nothing hard and fast, but try to keep the minutes in single digits so you don't get that crazy look up there. And you just let that go, and you notice in the sanctuary they don't see that, by design. So live stream, there you go. So there's how you start the countdown, and I think that's about it right here. We have it. This is fairly new right here, macros. So I think in the future I'm going to be able to build macros that, like when we go through all of this, how we create the slide, then we have to assign the action, assign the transition, assign all that good stuff. I think I can just do all that with one click by making a macro for it, but I got to look into that yet. But that's relatively new. Um, anyway, that's our service created. One last thing, which I probably said about 3 things ago, but one last thing is I'll just show you how to go live, and we're going to do that right up here. I'm in the upper right corner. You see a button that says live. I'll let you try to figure out what that does. First thing to set it up, I'm going to come down here, down to the taskbar. I'm going to open up Chrome. There's a bookmark here already, right here, that'll take us to our Facebook page. Here we are. Then over here on the right side, you see in the Create section, there's a button that says Live. We're going to click that. It's going to load. Now over here on the left, all right, title, it's required, as you can see. So I'm just going to call this tutorial. Say something about this live video. This is a tutorial. And for real, what I normally do is the title, I'll just put, like Philippians 3:1, rejoicing in God. Then down here, I'll put rejoicing in God, Philippians 3:1. And then since people are so protective of their music, we've been putting something like this. And I don't know yet that that's keeping us from getting muted. We'll have to see, because it does take a while. So that gets you ready right here. Notice the Go Live button is still grayed out because it's not receiving anything. Up here, just leave it on use stream key. We've got it set right now for a static stream key. That way we don't have to generate one and copy it every time. Then when we're ready, you can see this little notice down here, connect it. We can come back to ProPresenter. Let me just start this. And when I hit live, it's going to give us a little drop down here. We're going to start capture. Capture settings are already set. Don't worry about those right now. But when I hit start capture, it's going to start recording. And we're going to end up going live, which I don't really want to do right now, so I'm not going to. But just trust me, when you click on this, it's going to close, and this will turn green. Okay, this little broadcast icon or whatever the heck that is, and the word live will be green. And when you look back over here on Facebook, you'll see, if you're on this screen, you'll see your stream right here. And if you scroll up, you'll see it here a little bit bigger. And the other thing is this button, I believe it turns blue, but it'll change a color, and you'll be able to click that, and that'll actually start your Facebook Live. What I do here is I look at the image that's coming through, and these areas right here, you can't see my cursor, unfortunately, because it's a black background on a black cursor. I don't know why OBS does that, or if there's an option to change your color, the color of your cursor in the OBS recording. Somebody let me know that. But if you look at the bottom, this bottom bar, it has kind of a gray box around it. It says video, audio, and actions. In the video and audio, you see 3 dashes right now, but it'll give you your streaming rate and your bit rate on your audio. I watch those just to make sure we're getting something that resembles a reasonable stream. It's not very impressive, but just make sure it's coming through and relatively consistent. And once that's going, you're just back over here to ProPresenter, and you're ready to go on with your service. So that's all for this video. We've learned how to make the songs. We've learned how to do the sermon notes. Learned how to do announcements. Learned how to build our service over here in the playlist. We've learned how to at least fire the props, how to start the counters. We looked at how to play music, and how to play the video and get it ready. Make sure it's going to fill the screen right. So, as always, any questions, drop them below in the comments, or text me, or just get with me at service, and we'll do our best to get your questions answered. So, thanks for watching. God bless.